So many people dream of quitting work forever, but have no idea how to get started.
Well, we're gonna break it down for you today, and we're gonna do it in just 7 minutes.
Make sure to stick around until the end of the video to find out how you can get started today. If you're new to our channel, I'm Gillian.
And I'm Stephanie. We're a couple who saved and invested our way to financial independence, and we've been traveling the world ever since. So if you want to do the same, we share our best tips right here every week.
If you've been following us for a while, hello and welcome back. We're coming to you today from Istanbul, Turkey, where we'll be staying for the next month. We came here for the delicious food and the friendly people, and we'll share it all with you in our upcoming videos.
Just a few short years ago, we were a typical couple burning ourselves out trying to climb the corporate ladder. Our lives were almost entirely devoted to work, with the exception of a tiny little sliver of time on the weekend when we would catch up on chores and binge watch Netflix.
Travel was our passion, and the only thing that got us through the work week was counting down the days until our next trip.
Let's compare that to our life today. So we no longer need to work because we're financially independent. So that means no more bosses, no more meetings, no more Sunday blues.
Even better, instead of going to the office, we get to spend our days traveling the world. We're based in a new city every month, and every day there's something new and exciting to discover. You can check out what our life in early retirement looks like in this video, and we'll share that link and all the others that we mentioned today in the description below.
The best part is that everything that we did to get to where we are today, you can do too. We followed 7 basic steps to come up with our big dream and our plan for retiring early. And we're gonna be sharing it all with you today.
We're gonna talk about envisioning your future beyond the office, calculating your financial independence number, and coming up with your action plan. And we're gonna do it all in just 7 minutes.
Okay, Gillian, are you ready?
Let's start the countdown.
We'll kick things off with your big dream for the future. So how will you spend your time when you no longer need to work for a living?
For many of us, the big dream is to finally do all the traveling that we never had a chance to do. When I was younger, I always wanted to backpack Europe or spend a few months in Southeast Asia. I thought I had all the time in the world to do those things, but suddenly I was grown up. I was married with a mortgage, and choices felt more limited. I was locked into the standard corporate path, and I almost forgot that there might be other options in life.
That's why it's so important to take the time to reflect on what you would do with your life and how you would spend your time if earning money is no longer an issue.
Coming up with your big dream for life after work is what will keep you motivated on the path to early retirement. It will also help you budget for your future life, which we'll get into in a moment.
All right, next up, tracking your spending. There's just no way around it. If you want to come up with how much money you'll need for the future, you need to know how much you're spending today.
Sure, you probably know how much you spend on your rent or mortgage and likely have a sense of your recurring bills. However, many of us spend money in ways that we don't even notice, whether it's that extra item in your online shopping cart or buying a cappuccino every day.
It may be surprising to learn that until just a few years ago, we had never tracked our spending. Once we decided on the goal of financial independence, we knew it was finally time to start tracking every dollar and every penny.
Honestly, it was a shock. We couldn't believe all the excess spending we were doing every single month. And over the years, we'd fallen into pricey habits like joining a boutique CrossFit gym, going to a fancy hair salon, and dining out a few times a week.
We discovered that there was a lot of fat in our budget that we could and that we should cut if we were serious about retiring early. And all it took was logging our spending for a few months to spot those opportunities to save big.
Next, we need to budget for the future. This means coming up with a realistic budget for your dream lifestyle that we talked about earlier.
Is your goal to travel continuously over the next few years? Or are you planning to keep a home base and then take a few long trips each year? Do you want to spend all your time in the high-cost countries of Europe? Or do you want to do it backpack style in Central America?
Using your existing budget from step 2 as a base, you can estimate an annual budget for the lifestyle that you want to have in early retirement.
We knew that once we retired, we wanted to travel the world full-time. We didn't want any home base or any possessions to worry about. Instead, we would be in a new city and a new Airbnb every month.
Of course, we needed to figure out how much this new lifestyle would cost. So we researched the cost of living in different countries using Numbeo. We also searched Airbnb to estimate the cost of our accommodations, and we used Google Flights to figure out our travel costs. All of this helped us come up with the annual budget for our new lifestyle.
Remember to stay with us all the way to the end of the video because we're going to be sharing the best way to get started on your journey today.
Now we're starting to get serious. What's your risk tolerance? If you want to say goodbye to working for a living and take up full-time travel or anything else your heart desires, you need to have enough money, ideally to last you for the rest of your life.
One rule of thumb that many people within the financial independence community follow is to save 25 times their annual expenses. Remember, you just calculated your annual expenses in step 3.
Of course, this money can't just sit in your savings account. It needs to be invested in a diversified portfolio so that it generates a return that you can live on.
This next part is really important. Many people feel that 25 times your annual expenses is a bit risky. A lot can happen over the course of your early retirement, like inflation, market downturns, rising healthcare costs.
For that reason, many people, including us, choose to save up 30 times their annual expenses, or even more. So, depending on your own risk tolerance, what's the right multiplier for you?
Now comes the fun part. It's time to calculate your financial independence target number.
The math is simple. Just take your expected annual expenses from step 3, multiply it by step 4, and there you have it. This is the amount of money that you need to save and invest if you want to say goodbye to the office forever.
So why is this number so important? Well, this is the number that represents your freedom, and it becomes a clear goal for you to work towards.
Once we calculated our financial independence number, it was really exciting because our plans for the future suddenly felt within reach.
Still, once you've landed on your number, you're really only at the beginning of your journey.
The next step is to figure out how to achieve that number, and that becomes your action plan.
Are you comfortable just saving the same amount as usual every month, or do you want to accelerate your journey to financial independence and early retirement?
If you want to get there even faster, you've got lots of options. You can spend less each month and therefore save more money, or you can try to earn more, whether it's going after a promotion or starting a side hustle.
Or you can even invest smarter. So you can take a look at your current investment portfolio and see how you can improve it. If you're looking for a few thought starters, you can check out our video on how we invest and learn from all of our mistakes.
So whether you start a side hustle, trim your monthly budget, or change up your investment portfolio, there are many strategies that could help you achieve your financial goals.
When we were focused on growing our savings, we tried all kinds of strategies. So we worked as expats in Singapore to save on our taxes, we cut our living expenses, we switched to low-cost index funds, and lots more. Whew, almost at the end. Okay, so now it's time to track our progress and stay motivated.
It can be a long journey to early retirement. It could be years, it could even be decades. Some people already have a nest egg while others are starting from scratch, and lots of people are still paying off debt.
But no matter where you're starting from, the important thing is to stay motivated and celebrate those wins. So you can use tools to track your savings and watch your net worth grow. It could just be pen and paper, or you can use a fancy app. You can also create accountability by sharing your wins with family or on social media.
And don't forget to enjoy the journey. When we were cutting costs, we tried to make frugality fun. So instead of blowing our budget on fancy dinners out, we invited friends over for theme nights, and they were a ton of fun.
Whew, I think that's time.
7 steps in 7 minutes. But what's the best way to get started on your journey right now? Well, we recommend choosing one small thing, one small action, and doing it today.
So choose the thing that makes sense for where you are in your journey. If you haven't come up with your big travel dream yet, don't wait. Pick your first destination today.
If you're ready to track your spending, download an app today and log your very next purchase.
And if you need to budget for your future lifestyle, look up your bucket list countries in Numbeo and see how much they cost.
So let us know in the comments below, which step are you going to start on today?
And if you enjoyed this video, we recommend watching the next one right here. It's all about why we love life in early retirement.